Namaste from the beautiful subcontinent of India. Honorable Dr. Hong Taose, President of the Federation of World Peace and Love, Excellencies, distinguished co-speakers, ladies and gentlemen. Warm greetings to one and all on the United Nations International Day of Peace. As we all know, the International Day of Peace was established in 1981 by the United Nations General Assembly, and ever since then, every year, the world comes together to celebrate 21st September as the International Day of Peace. This day has been set forth by the United Nations General Assembly as a day of non-violence and ceasefire, a day dedicated to strengthen the ideals of peace. Today, the COVID-19 pandemic has driven society to collectively think out of the box about how we can make our world more sustainable, inclusive, just, equal, equitable, healthy, as well as how we can help the world to recover from the pandemic and build resilience towards the vast strata of issues it has created. These issues have been most prevalent in the underprivileged and marginalized groups of society. As of April 2021, 687 million COVID-19 vaccine doses have been administered globally, but over 100 countries are yet to receive their first dose. Additionally, those in conflict areas suffer from a lack of access to healthcare and are significantly vulnerable. In February 2021, the United Nations Security Council passed a resolution for all member states to support a sustained pause to local conflicts. This was in line with the Secretary General's appeal for a global ceasefire in March 2020 to ensure that people in areas of conflict receive essential and required vaccinations and healthcare. We, as a collective society, must make all the effort we can to ensure that the global ceasefire shall continue to be honored. While the pandemic has caused an increase in discrimination, stigma and hatred, the virus itself attacks all sections of humanity indiscriminately. The virus does not care about where we are from, what our racial or gender identity is, or what we believe in. We must remind ourselves of this common enemy of humankind and put an absolute stop to all forms of hatred and discrimination, which only costs us more lives rather than saving them. To truly recover from the widespread devastation triggered by the pandemic, we must learn to make peace with one another and accept each other unconditionally. Beyond this, it is also highly essential for us to make peace with nature and our local environments. Humanity has ensured that climate change is an ever-present phenomenon, which continues regardless of economic shutdowns and travel restrictions caused by the pandemic. Our world desperately needs a green and sustainable global economy. Such an economy would produce jobs while also reducing emissions and building resilience to climate impacts. This year, the International Day of Peace follows the theme of recovering better for an equitable and sustainable world. Let us all join the efforts of the United Nations family as we celebrate peace by standing up against acts of hatred, spreading kindness, compassion and hope in the face of the pandemic. Let us focus on recovering better for a more equitable and peaceful world. Let's stand in solidarity with the world's most vulnerable people in our environment and society, and as good human beings, to do whatever we can, no matter how big or small, to ensure that we all live in peace, good health, and mutual respect as global citizens of the world. Thank you and namaste.